time for the Sultan Sass podcast, when we share our love for the wonderful world of board games with you, whether you're a gaming veteran or just starting your tabletop journey. Welcome to episode 77, Lucky 77. I'm Suzanne.
And I'm Mandi.
I guess lucky would be 777, so we just have
Oh, yeah.
700 more episodes to go. No problem.
Sure.
No problem. Welcome back, everybody. It's so nice to be back here podcasting with you. It has been a great past couple of weeks. Mandi, we got video games to talk about. We got board games to talk about. We're serving up a game pie. I will say, well, I'm a little tired. Personally, we had I got aging parents. We've been dealing with a little bit of stuff, so I'm a little tired, but that's okay. I still made time to go to PAX West, so I thought I'd tell y'all about my experiences at PAX West. And Mandi, I mean, some of the games you're going to talk about, I may have seen at PAX West, so, there's that.
Oh.
What have you been up to?
Well, I've been playing a lot of games. I, too, am tired, but I don't know what it is. If it's like a full moon or something, I can't sleep, everybody. I don't know. And I'm usually, we're recording this podcast at around 8:30 Eastern. I'm usually in my bed by 7:30, not sleeping, but in my bed. So
That's
I
when
don't
you
know.
play your video games.
I, pull something out or read a book or do a solo RPG. It's just something to relax me. Lately, I've been wide awake, so I don't know what's going on. It's something's in the air. So I don't know if anybody else is having this, but leaves lots of time for me to play lots of video games, which I've been doing. So the one video game that I've been playing, which Suzanne and I just had a whole debate about because I thought it just came out this year. Apparently, it's been out for a year. The Rogue Prince of Persia. And those who can't see, it's yes, nodding her head.
Yep, I love this game.
And it's one of these side scroller. Oh my gosh, I'm struggling to talk because I'm so excited about it. Side scroller roguelike games. And it's just so good. It's so good. Lately, I've been playing a lot of games that are really hard, Elden Ring, Night Rain, and things like that. And not to say that this game isn't challenging. It is, but challenging in a different way. It's actually more an accessible challenge. So, and I don't, generally games where you have to do a lot of jumping and, parkouring and that sort of stuff, not my jam usually, because I'm just really bad at it. This one is a little more forgiving. I'm good with it. It has a cute story. It does remind me a little bit of Hades. It has that kind of vibe.
I can get that vibe. I can get that vibe.
Yeah, it's not the same, but it has a vibe. So when you die, you come back and it does try to power you up a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? So you're not just totally left in the dust. Little did I know in the beginning you were supposed to take both weapons, and I was just taking one. So I was playing on hard mode for no reason at all because I thought I had to make a choice.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I was then I realized, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to have both of them. Me getting as far as I did was shocking. Anyway, sorry, I digress. I'm all over the place here. But the game is really fun because you can take many paths in the game, and that will kind of lead you to a different door, different world. I mean, eventually you're going to go through all of them, but you might decide to go in one world before another, vice versa. And they're all different types. One has a lot of water slides. I do enjoy that one. That one's quite fun. Don't like the ones with the thorny areas and stuff. Oh my gosh, what is with that? I think I got stuck in a thorny patch and I couldn't get out of it. And I was I'm done. I'm done.
Is it the pits with the thorns?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And then you have to climb the wall, but then you might have to swing on another thing, or it's a wall where you have to go this wall, left, right, one of these zigzaggy wall things. And then if you don't get it, you end up in the thorn patch. Do you know how hard it is to get out of the thorn patch? See, any game that elicits these emotions is
That's
good.
A good point.
It's good, so because I keep coming back for more. What's that, Home Alone? Are you thirsty for more? That's me. I'm thirsty for more. So anyway, all that to say, Rogue Prince of Persia, very good. And there are series of this game.
I mean, Prince of Persia goes back. I mean, I remember playing. I have my old Prince of Persia cartridge for my original Game Boy.
Because I remember, it's been out for a
there
long
was a
time.
jump, and you would cling onto a ledge and be able to pull yourself off, but the timing on that jump to grab that so tough.
I didn't own a Game Boy.
Yeah,
because it was expensive, and but I had friends who had Game Boy, so they always lent it to me. I remember that exact
You
part, and I
know
was
that
like, "This is"
exact jump. I can
exactly.
visualize it so sharply, yeah.
So, for those who are not familiar, they have a series of games. I think this is the only one that's like a rogue kind of roguelike game. I think the other ones are not
Right.
as
I
this
agree.
kind
I
of
think so.
format.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so if this is not your thing, don't worry about it. They have other ones that you may enjoy more. But I know even the previous game that they had was rated quite highly. I own it, I just haven't played it yet. This is also on Game Pass. That's how I was like, ooh, hello. You all know how I love to pay the price of, and I put this in quotes, free, because I do pay a monthly membership for it, but I don't have to go buy the game, and I can play it on Game Pass. So, hey, hey, very excited when I saw when that dropped, and I've been playing a lot of that. So, The Rogue Prince of Persia, if you haven't tried it and you like those types of games, I really think you should give it a go. Super fun.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't have as many this go around, everybody, so it's not too bad. Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1 is the next one I've been playing. Have you heard of these? They have a
I
whole bunch
know
of them.
this one, I have no idea, and
Ah.
I am intrigued.
They're not new games, like, the Sherlock Holmes series, like, there's Crime and Punishment, there's, like, the Daughters, I can't remember the exact title. I have a few of them, and I got them as part of a bundle, so, I think they were, like, I got the bundle for, like,
Oh,
13
yeah.
bucks. Like, it's not a new game, like, it's definitely you can tell by the animations and things like that, it's not a new game, but it's mystery solving puzzle. There's a
Mhm.
bit of fighting, but if you decide you don't wanna fight, you can take all that stuff off, but you're trying to, like Sherlock Holmes, solve a mystery, and so, hmm, I like this game, but I do find it not super intuitive. Some of the like, you have to toggle on the objective of the particular thing you're looking at, and, like, there's a lot of toggling this in order for you to be able to do the next thing or for it to trigger the next thing, and it's just not like, if you don't put it on, it doesn't always guide you in the right direction, if that makes sense. Like, you
Mhm,
may say, "Oh,
mhm.
I wanna go do this instead." Like, it's just not super intuitive, so if you want a game that's gonna kind of, like, quote, unquote, "walk you toward it a little bit," I'm not saying doing for you, but just be like, "Oh, you found a thing, bing, this happens," or if you wanna go rogue and do something else, it doesn't work like that. It's very much like older games where, like, you have to do this in order for this to trigger. So, it takes a hot minute to figure out the controls and the way the clues and everything works, and they have this really cool puzzle thing with, like, chemistry. So, like, if you have to analyze some, materials on the scene, there's, like, a really cool puzzle thing you can do. Again, the controls for that are terrible. I'm playing this, and I should specify, the Rogue Prince of Persia, I'm playing on Xbox. I play it between PC and, the Xbox, so controller. Sherlock Holmes, I'm playing on PlayStation, and, yeah, controls are janky for some of it, not a fan, especially for the mixing part. Overall, it's okay, just that I don't love, but I like the story itself, but it's a little challenging if you're not used to the controls. So, Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1, I like it, but that's what we're gonna say about that one. I have some challenges with the way it's set up. He is Coming, you played this one too. So this is the next game we're gonna talk about. I think so? He is Coming, did you play it?
It
I
sounds familiar, but I don't remember, to be
Okay.
honest, so okay,
This
sorry.
is one that's on Game Pass, and it's a preview, and I think it's just Game Pass PC, and it definitely has, like, an old school vibe to it. Like, it has, like, very retro, so, like, it has, like, a map, very, like, kind of pixel art map, and you're going through the streets or whatever, and you could potentially run into treasures or baddies, and the baddies are red, and the treasures are like orange or yellow or whatever. And you have like a certain speed for how fast you can go. Day and night will change, and that'll depend on your speed, like how you can get to certain places, and things disappear. So if you don't get to something fast enough, like a treasure, it might be gone. Sometimes when the night comes, the little baddies move on the map a little faster, so you might get attacked from two sides. So you have to take one on and then another. But there are ways to like upgrade your weapons and stuff, hopefully before you meet these baddies. And it's very much like the game does the battle for you. Do you know what I mean? So you attack with your weapon for 3, and then they attack, and then you attack. Like, you can pause it, fast forward it, and make it go
Yeah,
fast.
the
But
auto battler. Yeah, 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 yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
it's an
yeah,
auto battler. It does it for you. But I'm like, I honestly, I like the vibe of this one. I think it's pretty good.
yeah.
So if you like that kind of auto battler, like you were saying, or like that retro vibe, and I'm here for it. And it's a really nice one to play on PC, pretty straightforward. So he is coming. I think it's just in a preview state right now. But if you have access to Game Pass PC, give it a go, or just wait for it to come out. It's super, super fun.
Oh,
Last,
I
yeah.
don't I okay, I'm looking it up now. It's I have not played this,
No, I think you
but it's
actually think
got
you
a
would like
cool style.
I think you would like it.
Yeah, it looks darn it, yeah, it looks good. It looks
Yeah,
good.
I think you would enjoy this one. So if you have a chance to try it, you should. He is coming. Simple but fun. And the last video game that I'm gonna kind of mention, I'm not even gonna get too deep into it, is Silksong. So for those of you who played Hollow Knight,
You and everybody else, Mandy.
I know you've been patiently or impatiently waiting for Silksong because every time they're like, "Yeah, it's coming." No, it's not coming. Yeah, it's coming. No, it's not coming. It's so late, but it's here, and it's day one on Game Pass. So the recording of this, it's going to be like a few days after that it was released, but it was released on Game Pass day one. I heard it locked everything down or something, like it crashed and stuff.
Yeah, so Silksong is so popular, it locked up every platform, like, especially Xbox and Steam completely. Like, you could try to buy it on Steam, and it
Yeah.
just would spin and spin and spin. You couldn't complete the
Oh,
transaction,
that's
and I know that
wild.
that was the same on Xbox. I have a
Yeah.
couple friends who managed to pick up their copy on Switch, but I heard Switch also locked up for a while as well.
Right.
That's how popular it is.
Because people had been so waiting for so long and were so
Yeah,
impatient, so
yeah,
they were so
yeah,
excited. But I did manage to download it. Haven't had a chance to play it yet. I mean, I didn't even finish Hollow Knight because it was so hard, but I liked it. So I
right.
just wanted to give Silksong a chance just to see. I mean, I don't foresee me getting too far, but I still want to give it a go. So if you are looking for that and you do have Xbox, it is available there as well. But I think the price point is pretty reasonable. I think it's like what, like $30 Canadian or something like that. It might even be cheaper than that. So it isn't overly priced. So that is something you can look forward to. That's it for video games. I do have a solo RPG I want to talk about, but before we jump into that, because we're still on the whole video game thing, Susan, do you want to talk about PAX? I think your PAX West recap might be nice.
I mean, sure. So, for those of you who don't know, although anybody listening to this chances are knows, I live in the Pacific Northwest in the United States in the Seattle area, and that is the home of PAX West. PAX conventions started here. They originally started in this area because the Penny Arcade folks, I guess, lived in this area or
Mhm.
whatnot. And it's been a grand tradition for years and years and years. So, PAX West got to go this year. And I do the video game section a little bit, but
Yeah.
I'm more passionate about the tabletop section. Video game wise, it kind of PAX exploded, and it feels like it was retracting a little even before
Oh,
COVID hit. And
right.
then it kind of feels like ever since COVID, it kind of stagnated. I don't know any statistics about PAX exhibitors or anything like that, but Xbox and PlayStation, Sony and Xbox do
Yeah.
not go anymore. They used to,
Yeah.
but they pulled out. Nintendo at one point pulled out, but they've rejoined. So they do have a large area with lots of demos, which was very popular with my kids and
Of
trying out the
course.
new Pokemon Legends A to
Nice.
Z or Z to A or whatever,
Mhm.
and things like that. And the Hades 2 is a Switch exclusive for consoles, blah, blah, blah. So that
Ah.
was really, really fun to see. I saw a game called Star Seekers, Mandy, that looks
Mhm.
like when that comes out, it'll be really fun. It's co-op where you're kind of like, it's from the makers of Astroneer,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
you can work together. They had a great booth and a really great demo. But I think what strikes me about PAX is it feels like if you set your expectations that
Right.
going is like going to an amusement park for video game demos,
Mm.
then I think you've got your mindset in the right place. Because basically,
Okay.
you go and you stand in line for all the most popular demos
All right.
for an hour for a 15-minute demo.
That's wild.
And what impresses me is how many people are totally happy doing that. It's a
Mm.
culture, right? And
Right.
people come expecting that. They got their water bottles, they're sitting down, they got butt cushions, all this other, great. And that's it's not my thing, but it's fun to see it. There's a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. And just like in board game conventions, Mandy, I think there's a lot of positive vibes. Just
Mhm.
gamers, being excited about games. It
Yeah.
generally is a pretty positive thing in
Mhm.
general. There's lots and lots of cosplay, tons of cosplay,
Of
and there's
course.
a lot of big panels and things like that as well at PAX if you're interested in that for video games. But from a tabletop perspective, they are working really hard to grow the tabletop area. And I think it's a mixed bag right now.
Mhm.
I talked about this a little bit last year, but basically they've got a big convention hall area. And on one side, you've got all the exhibitors that are related to tabletop. And then you just have this massive sea of open tables. And then on the other side, you have the first look and the hot games area that's
Right.
curated by the PAX crew and the board game library.
Mhm.
And I gotta say, they do a great job with the library and they do a great job with the first look and curated games. I was walking down that, and I mean, if you are in the area and you want a chance to play really new, really hot, maybe unreleased games,
Okay.
it is a great place to do that
Mhm,
for
mhm.
sure. If you want a place where you're going to be able to buy all the hot new games or demo everything from a wide variety of board game publishers,
Right.
it's not there yet. It's just not there yet. A
Okay.
lot of CCG resellers, a lot of RPGs. So if you're into TTRPGs more, a lot of TTRs, like small TTRPGs and accessories were there as well,
Mhm.
and a number of very, very small kind of independent board game people, which is cool, but not necessarily what everybody's looking for. To that end, they did have a game market. They did have the night game market there, which is something that is inspired by Tokyo Game Market.
Mhm.
And it is an event where independent designers can make basically their handcrafted prototypes, make 20, they make 50, whatever they can make and bring, they get a table, and you can come and look at their games and buy them.
Yeah.
But once they're gone, they're gone. And these are all um they are all very much labors of love. They're all basically all handcrafted by the designers, but the designers are
Yeah.
there. It's cool. It's very, very cool. They did this at
Nice.
PAX Unplugged, and now they're
Yeah.
doing it here. I think they're trying to make it a thing, and I love it. I couldn't
Amazing.
attend this year because of the time it was held, but the photos from it show, like, again, just like at PAX Unplugged, they were not, I don't know if they were expecting the popularity of it, hundreds of people in line to get a chance to go through and check out all these games. It's inspiring. It's so cool to see, one, all these makers and designers putting that on display. And then
Mhm.
two, all these individuals totally captivated and interested in that. Those coming together, I think, is super special. And I love that this is becoming a thing. But the biggest problem,
Mhm.
I think there's a lot of good stuff about PAX West if you're into tabletop games. The biggest problem is a 4-day badge to PAX, which is how
Mhm.
you would get into the tabletop area, costs $265.
That's
A
a
4-day
lot.
badge to Gen Con costs $150.
Oh, wow.
It is a massive difference. And if you think about, if you want to bring your family, if you have a family
Yeah.
of four, it's $1,000 to
That's a
attend
lot.
for 4 days. And yeah, to go to Gen Con, it's $600. But that $400 gap is a lot of money.
Absolutely.
I mean, when you like, that $400 is all your food and your parking and everything else. So,
Sure.
and Seattle's an expensive city. So I think that that's a huge barrier. It was last year. I continue to think it's a huge barrier to growing that tabletop
Mhm.
area, which is a shame. I want this tabletop area to grow because what they've started is a very solid foundation. And I had a lot of fun. And again, vibes are so positive. I saw some people playing Lightning Train and I stopped by, or they were reading the rule book. I'm like, hey, I know how to play that game. Would you like me to teach you? And they said yes. So I taught some
Nice.
strangers how to play Lightning Train. I actually taught a number of other random games. I was in the library and we were getting a game of Panda Royale going, which plays up to
Nice.
10, and we had three. And I'm like, well, it's more fun with more people. So you know me, Mandy. I stood
Of
in
course.
the library and I just shouted. I'm very loud. Right? I just shouted, "Hey, anybody want to play a silly game about rolling dice and doing a lot of addition?" And I got three people that way,
I mean,
right?
exactly.
And so that was very, very fun and very, very cool. So PAX West, I had a great time. I want to see it grow. I think it
Yeah.
has some barriers, unfortunately, but I have a lot of hope for it. And if you go to a convention and they are hosting one of these night game markets for the
Mhm.
independent designers, go. They are
Yeah.
rad. Okay. But Mandy, if you're into TTRPGs, the most of the vendors were related to TTRPGs, including solo ones like Troves.
Yes, which is I mean, I'm glad you had a good time, and I'm glad you got to check out hopefully got to check out some, RPGs, some solo RPGs while you were
I got
there.
to, like, ninth level games was there. That was
Oh, good.
cool.
Yeah.
Game and Curry, which is Banana Chan's company, was
Yep.
there. So that was all very, very cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's good, and I remember the last time I went, there were quite a few stands and, was able to pick up a few, good ones, so I'm glad you got to visit as well. And, speaking of solo RPGs, one I have to talk about because I have done 3 runs now, and I cannot win. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, everybody. It is called Troves, and it is a solo RPG, but you can play it cooperatively with a group as well. I do like this RPG because it does help you with character creation. Like it's pretty straightforward with your character creation. They have some pre-built ones, but then they show you how to make custom characters, or if you want to make custom delves, you can do that too, and it walks you through how to do that, or you can just do the ones that are in the book. And it really is a lot of like, I mean, you can kind of journal stuff if you want. It's not required. Sometimes I like to just, make up a little story as I'm doing it, but you don't have to. And there are a lot of tables, right? So if you're going into a delve for XYZ, they'll have like a story, this monster, but in order for you to fight the big baddie, you need to get a certain amount of like knowledge points before. So like maybe 12 knowledge points. So you're going to roll on a few tables to see if you end up getting treasures, to see if you end up doing some trials. Like there are different ways to acquire points, and then there are levels of difficulties within that. So I mean, it's not like you're just coasting. You could also lose health doing some of those things, and then once you've hit that knowledge point level, then you go attack the baddie. And sometimes the baddie hits for like crazy amount of points, and depending on how you've set up your character, yeah, I think I only made it like a couple of rounds and it was over. I just gotta get a little better. So I know it's meant to be a bit of a challenge. It's fine, it's fun. But I think I got one more run in me, and then I might have to switch something else for a while. I need a win.
Just because it was depressing. Yeah, I get that. I can relate.
Yeah. So Troves, everybody.
I mean, I admire your persistence.
Yeah.
Well, that was a lot of banter, a lot of
Yes.
stuff. I mean, good stuff, but a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, Mandy. I have not had time to look at crowdfunding, so I'm going to skip crowdfunding today.
Yes, I looked, and no, I'll just be straight to it. It was a little dry, everybody. Little dry for
I
me.
mean, I think
So
there are some, some interesting projects, and I don't know. I was talking to some people at PAX, and I can't, I can't say anything public. We'll see. There may be some drama in the crowdfunding world in the relatively near future. We'll see. We'll see. I can't.
Got it.
We'll see. So we'll circle back on that in a couple of weeks. Actually, by next episode, we may know.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see that.
the
Okay,
tea
so we're
will all be
skipping
out there.
crowdfunding. No big deal. That just
Yes.
means we get to talk about board games we've been playing.
Yes, and yeah, we got a couple good ones. So yeah, let's dive right in. So let's start with. I actually had one I want to start with, but I changed my mind. Okay, we're gonna start with this one instead. So, yeah, so we're gonna jump right into a chip theory game, but this is a chip theory game that's not like wildly heavy like some of the other
Right.
ones we've talked about. And this is Wroth, and Wroth is designed by Mandi Tremblay. Art is also by Mandi Tremblay, and as stated before, it is published by Chip Theory Games. It's for 1 to 4 players, and it runs for about 60 minutes. I realize I didn't put how much it was, but Suzanne can kindly check while I talk about it.
Oh,
Do you love how I pitch it to work?
Good Suzanne.
I don't have my quiet keyboard. It's going to make noise.
I mean, you have 80,000 keyboards. Get
That's
on it.
true.
Come on.
I know, but this one's like not the creamy one. This
You
is, like,
knew
the
we were going to
thocky
be
one.
recording, Mandy.
I know, but this one's cuter. Okay, back to Wroth. Okay, before I jump in, Suzanne has been kind enough to find the price for me of this game, and it is 65. I'm assuming 65 US dollars
Correct.
retail. Okay,
Correct.
there you go. So that's probably closer to the $75 or $80 price point for us Canadians and the like, but we'll go with that. Okay, so Wroth is an area control board game. Didn't think I'd be into that. That can be played, you can play competitively, cooperatively, or solo. So just for our purposes today, I did not play this solo. I mean, I think that's a given that I wasn't going to play this type of game solo, but I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe eventually, but for our purposes today, I did not play this solo. Suzanne, we'll leave that for Suzanne. I feel like she might do that. Maybe or maybe not, I don't know. So in the game, let me start off by saying it's a lot of color, and I'm here for it, everybody. Fabulous. And I'm just so tired of seeing the same old gray and beige. This pink and turquoise and green. I'm living for it. Wow, I'm in a mood today. So in this game, so what happens when you're tired? In this game, all the players choose a faction. Right, like it goes with area control games, and you're trying to gain control in different kind of areas of what they call Wroth. And when I played, they had also sent additional characters, so we tried to pull some of those ones in as well. But everybody gets a certain character. There are certain abilities that you get to choose from, like a couple cards that you have. Like, oh, this is an extra ability that you get, and that's something you'll play with. I regret not taking the one with more, I'm going to say money for our purposes, but what you use as currency. Now I know because currency matters in this game. So there are mats that everybody gets with their player image and an area to put the people that you're going to put on the map for control, for dice. There are some dice that you're going to be using. There's things you can house on your mat. And there's small neoprene mats, but very nicely done. Okay, so once everybody has all their characters, their card that they're playing with, then there are going to be some dice, and these dice are going to be drafted for each player. We're going to go around order. They're going to get dice, and I think it comes back around. Depending at where you are in the game, sometimes someone gets a third dice. If they're very far behind in the game, they'll also get to pick an additional die. That didn't happen too often in the games that I played because we were so good. Joking, I was terrible. Someone always tied with me, so when you're tied, you don't get the extra die. Yeah, so that happened a lot to me. Uh, sorry. With that being said, when you have your dice, you can play them to attack other players, potentially to move or put other more of you on the map, so more of your pieces on the map. So potentially putting more out at the starting point, or putting or moving to other areas, kind of moving closer to that interior or certain areas of the main board or main mat. And on this main board, the areas that you might reside in will have point values or kind of other things that you can be given, like more money, resources, things like that, in addition to points. And you're going to do some kind of like scoring or looking to see, okay, who has majority in this area. If it's just you, then you're going to get additional points. If it's you and somebody else, but you have more, then you'll still get points, but you won't get those additional points, things like that. So the goal is, to try to be by yourself in an area, or to be at least have the overwhelming majority. But there are ways that people can boot you out of these areas, because on your mats you have player abilities based on, you have certain dice. Instead of just like your little people, you have dice, and these dice have abilities, but you have to be able to pay to put them out. This is where having, that kind of currency resource helps you, because it can be a little expensive, but they're also can be really powerful, especially in numbers. So you want them out in the map. That's literally the game. And that's what you're doing every round. Yeah, you take you're actioning your dice. You have a special die as well that you can use in addition to the dice that you're using, but you may have one of those. And sometimes it lets you repeat an action or things like that. And yeah, after you do all these actions, then you're going to check to see who has majority, allocate points or resources, and then you just do it all over again. Roll the dice, draft the dice, place things out again. You keep doing that until player reaches X amount of points, depending on who people are playing, and that's going to end the game. It's literally meant to be played, I think, in like an hour. The rules
Yeah,
teach
yeah, it
was
sounds like it's an area
super.
control experience, but in a fairly compact time
Yeah,
frame.
absolutely. So it was a pleasant surprise. I feel these games elicit aggressive tendencies with some people. I'm not about that life. I'm sorry. I'm not a competitive person. I just don't care. So oftentimes these games don't really sit well with me. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. But we had a really good time with it. I mean, I played horribly all the times I played it, but I still had fun. And I still was, okay, let me try and get in this area. And I was still able to prevent sometimes someone from getting points, or maybe I got little points here and there. But I was trying to develop my strategy and was open to trying other characters later, to be like, oh, I'll try something different, or the same character, just try a different strategy. So I
Mhm.
appreciated that. At the top, I talked about components, quality. Amazing. I mean, chip theory generally always has really good quality. The colors are so good.
It's a
Like,
very vibrant game.
love it. So for those watching on the video, do you see the vibrant pink lights and things that I have? It's like that, and I am here for it. So for those not watching, it is pinks and greens and, turquoise and these really bright colors
Turquoise.
that grab your eye, and it's a nice change. I'm not saying that all games have to be like this, but it's nice because you don't see it often. So it really stands out. I honestly think the level of this game, and maybe people might disagree, it definitely has, I don't want to say this in a negative way. It's not negative at all. But you know how we've been pulling a lot of games into Target and those types of places? Again, this might be a harder sell, but it definitely feels like people at that level could play this because it's not overly
It's
complicated. Do you
super
know what I mean?
approachable, huh?
Exactly, like, it just has that
Interesting, yeah.
approachable vibe, so that
Mhm,
wouldn't surprise me, and the colors would pull people in to be like, "Ooh, like, I wanna know more about this game."
mhm.
So, I found it almost too short. I was like, I feel like I didn't get enough time to do what I wanted to do," but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, do you know what I mean? So, it just makes me wanna play it again and maybe play differently, better, whatever the case may be. I do think this would actually be a straightforward game to play solo. I still don't think I would play it solo, it's just not the type of game I'm interested in playing solo, but I don't think it would be complex to do. Amongst all my ramblings here for Wroth, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Really loved the color palette, theming, component quality. Rules were very clear. We all had a really good time with it, actually. I was surprised. I thought my game group, somebody was going to be like, no, I don't like it. Because, it's not every game is for everybody,
Area
but
control can absolutely be very
divisive. Like, it just,
yeah, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
And Wroth was good. So if you want to try area control, like I said, you're like me and you're like, "Ooh, it's not my jam." You might actually really enjoy this one, and the time for the play is pretty accurate to what it says. So Wroth, very good. I enjoyed it.
So I have a copy of this as well, and I'm dying to get to the table for all the
Yeah.
things that you said. I've read the rules, so it's one of those things. Do y'all ever have this at a game night? I don't know. Because I often will host, and
Sure.
so then I often have the games, and that means I'm reading the rule books and teaching the games. So when I try to be prepared for game night, and so I'll pick, what games do I think we're going to play tonight,
Yeah.
and if I don't know them, then I'll read the rule book as you do.
Of
But
course.
then you get to the night, and then here are all these games we could play, and then they don't pick that game,
You're like,
which is
no.
fine.
Sure.
But that also means, okay, then I read the rule book and I don't get a play to help cement that in my
Right.
brain. So then it's like, okay, the next game night, I'll read the rule book again. So I've read the rule book for Wroth. It's not a heavy, to your point, Mandi.
Sure.
It's pretty quick. It's not a big deal. It's not like I spent
Yeah,
an hour
but
reading a rule book or
still.
anything. But like I've read the rule book for Wroth 3 times now. I want to play this game.
Exactly. We're
Darn it.
playing it.
So there you go.
Uh,
Well, a game that I did get to the table a lot is Lightning Train.
Ooh, I wanna hear
Lightning
about this
Train
one.
is a new game coming from Direwolf, who provided a preview copy for me. Thank you so much. This is designed by Paul Denon, who you might know as the designer of things like, Clank.
Yeah,
And we have
exactly.
illustrations by Raul Ramos.
Mhm.
And it plays 1 to 4. Lightning Train is a bag building air quote train game. Because I think I realized people define train games very differently depending on
Oh, for sure.
where you are in the hobby, right? So
Yeah.
Lightning Train is a bag building game on a board that is vaguely like a Ticket to Ride board where you have
Okay.
the country and then there's little rail lines connecting different cities. There's spots for city locations, that kind of thing. It thematically, you're building the transcontinental railroad across the nation, across the United States is thematically kind of what you're doing.
Mhm.
So what you're going to get is the board that looks like the country,
Mhm.
and then a ton of little cardboard tokens or chips, and a personal player board, a little bag for those chips, and that kind of thing. The chips are key to the game because they drive all of the action. They represent your train cars that you're going to be
Mhm.
building your rails with and taking actions with. They can represent contracts and they can represent other actions or bonuses that you get. You're going to have a starting set of chips of 10 chips that go in your bag. You shuffle them up, you pull out some, and that's what you have to work with. If you've played a deck builder or a bag builder, a pool building game, it follows all the standards. You start with 10, you take out
Right.
X amount. When you can't take out anymore, you shuffle your discards back in and cycle them through that way. It follows all of those standards. So if you're teaching somebody who's played a bag builder or a deck builder, it's got that streamlined instructions built in. What you're
Nice.
primarily going to be doing is building rail lines and stations and potentially doing some delivery, some pick up and deliver actions as well. The game ends after 12 rounds or in the round that the Transcontinental Railroad is completed.
Nice.
And then you get another round and then the game's over. The game is called Lightning Train. There is an icon that represents lightning trains. What a lightning train does when it's pulled out and it activates, it gives you another one of your basic rail cars out of your pool. And that's cool because basically what you're going to be doing is that you get a little holding tank that has a chip limit. You pull out chips and you fill that holding tank. And then those are the chips you have to work with for your turn, whether it's building rails, building a station, taking a special action, whatnot. Cool. There's a way to expand that station as well, which is cool. And then there's some special chips that don't go into those slots. Lightning trains don't go into that slots, they give you extra rail cars to work with that turn. So
Right.
lightning trains are really, really good. Game's called Lightning Train. You figure that they're important. There are other little things like the board has regular routes and mountain routes. If you want to build on the mountain route, you got to have a tunnel icon in your active pool. If you want to deliver a good, you have to have a cargo icon in your pool to deliver a good, that kind of thing. And to do the critical building a rail or building a station, you need to have a contract. So the chips will have different regions. The board is divided into regions like Southwest, Northwest, that kind of thing. So if I want to build a station in the Northwest, if I have a chip that says Northwest and I have the requirement that the tokens do, I can take one of the stations and build it up there. Yay. Same thing with rails. If I want to build a rail that goes from the Northwest to the West and I have a chip that says Northwest, I can build that rail. As long as I'm connecting trains, building off a station, that kind of thing. And, that's the thing. If you like bag building or you like that route building kind of thing, it's those two blended together.
Right.
On one hand, it feels again, air quote light, but it's got a lot going on. And I found it interesting. So the first play was an interesting learning game because we realized we made early game mistakes that we had no idea we were making from a strategy point of view, that in a future play, we're like, okay, let's make sure we watch out for this. Totally improved that. So that's cool. For example, where you build your stations is critical because you can't just build a rail line anywhere. You can build it from the East Coast or from a station. You can build a station anywhere as long as you have a contract. So getting a station out west early to give you the option to build out there, super important, right? Being part of the Transcontinental Railway with your engine cars can be important, but only there's a lot of nuance. There's a lot of nuance in this game that takes a simple rule set, but kind of adds some complexity. Now, what was interesting and perhaps disappointing, it depends on how you look at train games. There is a pick up and deliver element to this, where different cities have goods different locations have goods. Different cities, when you build a station, they have requirements like, I can pick up gold here. This station wants gold, deliver the gold there. The way that the goods work, you know where the goods will come out. You don't know when they'll come out, but you know where all the goods are housed, so you can plan. It never felt tense in terms of the timing of those goods.
Okay.
Which was kind of a disappointment to me. The way that the pick up and deliver matters is that you can pick up a good here, and then every rail line that you use, whether it's yours or an opponent's, all those people will get a point every time you use their rail to deliver the goods. So it's a way that you get points. But again, it never felt like it was the most impactful thing to do the pick up and deliver. And I wish that there was more out of that. And we talked about this with one of my game groups, and we kind of got to that landing of, we wish the rail building, cool. Station building, cool. Pick and deliver, meh. And then we talked about what makes a train game. And we're like, well, 18XX has a stock market. And then we start talking about, I wish this had a stock element. I wish it had something that motivated us to care about what the other players were doing more, where their stations were, how you were, like some other influence. And we could see where that would have been really, really exciting. So maybe if they do an expansion or something, hey, stock market, baby. So the pick and deliver felt a little flat to us in the game.
Right.
The market in which you acquire new chips that go in your bag, I love. So the chips all have little markings on the bottom, and then there's a market row up top. And the markings indicate where they go. The bigger the marking, the more useful the chip is, the more expensive the chip is. Makes sense. So it's seeded. It's smart. The market just doesn't come out randomly, which I like totally randomly. I like that a lot. Plus, when a section is full of chips and you pull out another one that would go there, everything slides down and gets cheaper. So that super good chip, if it can't be bought there, it will eventually end up sliding down and get cheaper.
Right.
That whole system, I really, really like. I thought that was a great, very smart system on how you can purchase up and fill your bag and build your pool. Loved that. So Lightning Train, net, solid. I really enjoy a lot of the things it does. I really wanted more out of the pick up and deliver. I see the potential there. I think for some people that don't have a lot of pool building or a lot of train games, this is going to be a potential highlight in your collection. I will say it has a solo mode. I scanned the rules for the solo mode. and I decided I probably wasn't going to play it solo. So I haven't played it
Oh,
solo. I've played it at 3 and 4 only.
interesting.
I really liked it at 3 and 4, and I thought it scaled well. So Lightning Train, a bag building train game. Go figure. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering. I mean, pick 'em and deliver, in my opinion, is kind of a big deal in a train game, but if that's not strong enough, I don't know.
It
It
just
sounds
wasn't a big enough impact
yeah.
to me. It wasn't a big tension moment for me in this one.
Okay. Well, good to know. I think I'll still try it, but I definitely will take that, have that in my mind as
Set your
well.
expectations.
Absolutely. Well, the last game I'm going to talk about today, we're going to keep it light because I think, we got a fun musical game pie coming up. I played a game called Knarr, and I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Nar,
Knarr.
nar. I just like saying it.
I know,
Nar.
right? With 2 R's. It's designed by Thomas Dupont, and art is by Antoine Carillon, and it's published by Bombix and Pandasaurus. Pandasaurus is where I received my review copy from. It's for 2 to 4 players. It plays in about 30 minutes, and it retails for about 26.95 Canadian. I'm gonna be very straightforward. I didn't think I was gonna like this game. I thought it was gonna be terrible. I'm sorry. Being very honest, I was like, "Oh, okay, we'll see." But we'll see how I felt about it at the end. So in Knarr, you are the leader of a band of Vikings. We had some questions about what it was written in Vikings. Like, we're like, oh, I didn't think Vikings were, I think it was like the part of the world or the way they described it. Not saying it was incorrect. That was just a learning opportunity for us. So, and I play with people who know a lot about this. So it was interesting. But anyway, a little bit of a story there that you can read. So I do appreciate that. You're the leader of a band of Vikings that you send to new destinations. This sounds historically something that happened. And you're managing the recruitment of your crew and you're determining kind of like the best areas to explore. And you're trying to go there for trading or influence. And you're trying to obviously recruit more Vikings to come with you and get you more wealth. Sounds like the show Vikings, which I thoroughly enjoyed, everybody. That's about right. The game, it's like uses a lot of like engine building, card drafting, and that sort of thing uh, throughout. And it's a race. So the first player to get 40 points will take it. I was surprisingly good at this game. But anyway, that doesn't happen often. Okay, so I feel like I have to talk about it. So in the game, it's very straightforward setup. It's mostly cards. They're almost like a tarot size, not quite. I don't think they're quite as big, but they're in that kind of ballpark. And they have images of the different Vikings that you can acquire, which will have different colors and different symbols. That kind of matters. Then you have a display of cards. They almost look like boats that you can attach to when you acquire them, attach them to kind of your cardboard display, and there are abilities that can be triggered depending on a specific action that you do, depending on the type of boats you get and what's on it can trigger that. And then your little board that you have in front of you, it's fairly small, it looks like a boat, and then there's some kind of divots on each side where the tokens kind of go in depending what you're trying to do. And there's also kind of these other cards that can trigger if you do XYZ in the game. This is something you can take advantage of, but you don't have to play with those cards. It's like an additional kind of variant you can play with. So in the game, you can either recruit a Viking to your crew, and then there are benefits when you from all the Vikings of the same color that you recruit. So, for example, if I had already a purple coated Viking or whatever, and then I recruited another purple, it goes in the same column, and any resources or abilities or things that I would get would trigger in that column. So it's great if you can get like a long column of one color because then you get those things. But these are things that can be traded in later. We'll say these people have decided to go on an expedition on a boat, and then that boat will come to you. So then you will lose those Vikings later. So the lines will get shorter, but that's a different type of action. So that would actually go into your explore action, exactly what I was just talking about. And that's where you send out your Vikings on expeditions, and that's how you get to claim those land cards. And there are some instant bonuses, and then it helps enhance the trade routes. Remember, I was saying some of those cards have abilities on them. You can trade. So after your main action, you can trade silver bracelets for extra rewards. And these are the tokens I was telling you about. So you can actually spend these silver tokens. So remember the boats? I was saying there's some symbols on them. Depending on how many silver tokens you trade in, you can acquire whatever the bonuses are on those. Like I think it's 3 slots, depending on how many of those tokens you trade in. You have other tokens too that can kind of manipulate where you have to select Vikings from, because depending And that will depend on where you can take from, but those will kind of help you skew that a little bit. You can also earn victory points through reputation and some of your land cards, Viking cards, and there's a board that you can trigger that. And you will also continue to get those points every round depending on where you hit. Like there's a certain point you hit, and every round you will get those points. So it's really important to kind of push that forward as well. So that can really push the game, and that's what happened in our game. I got a lot of those points, so I was instantly just constantly getting points right off the start. That's the game, and then whoever gets to 40 points first, that'll trigger end of the game. It's really that straightforward. So you're like, "Oh, that might sound a little boring." It's actually kind of fun. Like, I really enjoyed it, and I played with 2, we played with 3. I definitely feel playing with 2, it's a different vibe. Doesn't mean it's not good, I just feel like that competitive edge of like trying to get to things first, like I wasn't as worried. I was a bit more nonchalant with 2 players, like, yeah, I'll get to it. Sure, I'll do that later. Like I wasn't worried. Versus when you play with more people, you're like, yeah, I might want to get that first because now you have another person in the mix that's probably going to take it or see that you need it and be
Sure.
like, nah, we're not going to let you have that. So
Yeah.
that definitely changes the dynamic a little bit. So, and overall, I actually, it's funny. The people that I played it with, we all were like, "Oh, I don't know if this is gonna be any good," and we're like, "Actually, this was much better than I thought it was going to be." So we like the compact setup. The art was actually quite nice for the game. Like it fit the aesthetic and the theme. It was really nice. I did like the fact that it didn't take up a ton of table space. Card games generally, I don't know what it is. These small box card games, looking at you, Castles of Burgundy, the card game, just take up so much room. And this had larger cards. I'm like, here we go. It didn't. So I appreciated that kind of compact setup. That actually really, I appreciated that. Card quality, yeah, I'm real particular about card quality. And these days, I don't know what's going on, but like the card quality in a lot of games I'm struggling. Let's
Oh,
just leave it
oh.
there. I'm struggling. These ones were not bad by any means. They were fine. They weren't super thin. They weren't super thick. They were fine. So I'm just saying, people, I understand there's a cost, but we need to step up the card quality, especially with games where you have to shuffle cards or you're playing, like using them a lot. Not everybody can afford to sleeve cards. Sorry, it's expensive. So anyway, that's my little
I think
rant
that's a
about
great point.
cards.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Let's just
Yeah,
make it
I
a little more
do.
cost effective. So in the
Yeah.
long run, like I was saying, it doesn't seem like the game is super deep up front, but I do find there is that strategic element, and I do find that happens a bit more with more players. So definitely something that you could play to someone maybe who's like a little newer to gaming because the amount of actions are minimal, but it does require you to strategize, which I appreciate. So they making it a little bit more accessible. So I won't get too many more details than that. That's it. I like the game. It's in a nice compact box, so you can actually take it with you and play it in smaller spaces and play with different types of gamers. I think that's something that can be appreciated. So Knarr was a surprising hit with the group.
I love it. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
To wrap up, maybe this is a good companion game for Knarr, Mandy. I don't know. Is
Yeah.
Alibis.
Oh.
Alibis is one of
Ooh,
these small box games from All Play, those little tiny 6-inch by 6-inch
nice.
square boxes that they
Yeah.
have. Alibis actually re-implements a Japanese game called Nogochi, which
Mm.
is by Yusuke Sato, and Alibis has art by Albert Montes, and it plays 2 to 6. This is a cooperative deduction, I'm going to say party game. And I basically that when you look, basically you're trying to figure out who the real criminal is. Out of all the criminals, who's the real criminal? So you get
Okay.
these placards that have really colorful, quirky criminals, and they look like they're in a lineup, right? And they've got funny bunny ears, or they look like a bug. Like they're all goofy looking, right? Numbered 1 through whatever. And it's seeded by player count. It adjusts how
Okay.
many come out are adjust by player count. And you're going to lay those placards out, and they're, you know how in a lineup in the movies, like Usual Suspects, you hold your
Yeah.
ID, your black ID thing. They all have a
Yeah.
spot for that, and that's where
Oh.
their word card is going to go. So you have these
Ah.
placards, and then you have a ton of just black cards that have words, a word on
Okay.
them. You're
Right.
going to randomly shuffle up and deal 1 word to each character, and that's their word. So maybe number 1 has the word party. Cool, for that game. Awesome.
Mhm.
Then you're going to shuffle up the cards that match the criminals that are out there, and you're going to deal 2 to every player.
Okay.
And so, Mandy, you might get number 1 and number 8. And you have the word, number 1 has party, and number 8 has the word uh, Winnebago. I don't know.
Okay.
Right? Cool. So everybody has 2 characters, and then the last one gets placed face down. That is the real criminal. You are all trying to figure out who the real criminal is by
Okay.
doing word deduction. So
Okay.
here's where it kind of plays out a bit like code names. Because, Mandi, what you're going to do is you have a little dry erase board. You
Mhm.
have the word party and Winnebago. You're trying to come up with one word that will get everybody to know those are your two words on the board.
Right.
Those are your
Okay.
two criminals that are out of the game, that are not the one. So you are eliminating. You're trying to eliminate all the criminals on the board so that you know who the one left is. And you're doing that by coming up with a one word clue to connect your two characters. So
Right.
maybe my words on my characters are the Olympics and Cobra, right? So I have to
Right.
come up with a word that connects Olympics and Cobra that isn't going to, maybe you know, oh, Suze must have these two, but I have to come up with a word that isn't going to accidentally lead you to another character instead.
Right.
Just like in code names, right? You're trying to come up with a clue that will give people to guess which words are yours without hitting like the spy. So it's very much like that play with a little bit of just one, right? Because it's a one word.
Okay.
It's one word on all the
Nice.
characters. Your alibi, that's your alibi. Your
Sure.
word has to be just one. And then you have the whodunit deduction. So you're going around and then you go by turn, you write your word, everybody looks at it, and then they try to guess what your two characters are. There is a point system. When people guess what's correct, they get points. And then if you guess who the final character is, you get points for that too. And then you go through so many rounds, and then there's a point scale for success. It is a cooperative game. You are working together. It's great. I mean, this game is great. I love this game.
Like Tony the Tiger.
Yeah. It's great. I brought it to PAX and I taught it to basically a group of like 3 people I didn't know and 2 people I knew, and we had a blast. Like it is code names often gets categorized as a party game. I will, to my grave, fight that categorization. Codenames is a team-based deduction game. It is not a party game. It is highly cerebral. You have one person giving clues, right? You have the one person telling you what to do, and then you have a bunch of people trying to guess. The person who's guessing, they're looking, they're trying to eliminate, oh, there's so many options, oh, they're agonizing, oh, purple 3, oh, like, so you can technically play with a higher player count, but it's very cerebral, it's very tense. It often has long periods of silence, and not everybody is engaged.
Right.
Alibis doesn't do that. Alibis is tight, it's quick, and everybody is active the whole time. And that makes it a party game to me. We're all coming up with the clues. We all know a little bit of information. We're all guessing. We all can contribute points to the cooperative scoring. That it works beautifully. It just works. It's a lot of fun. I can't remember. It's affordable. It's portable. It plays 2 to 6. It's really, really good. So I love Alibis. If I see you at a convention, there is a reasonable chance I'll have it in my backpack to play because it's one of those games.
That should be their tagline. It's portable, affordable, and great.
Yeah, there you go. So that's Alibis.
Sorry, I had to do it.
What can I say? I'm in marketing, baby.
No, it's good. It's good.
All right. Whew, okay. So much chatter. There you go. We still have time for a game pie. We're going to crank out a quick game pie and call it an episode. Sound good, Mandi?
It sounds great.
All right, folks. Game pie time. Again, a while ago, some of you were talking about game pies you'd like to see, and that was so helpful. Please give us more ideas, because sometimes we come here and we're like, what were we going to do? And we can't think of it.
Well, no, agony. You just don't want me coming up with them because when I'm tired,
whatever, I love
then they're in like outer space and random stuff.
So this game pie, the game pie of the week is musical games. However we want to interpret that.
Brings the people
and pretty straightforward, Mandi.
Together. Some Madonna, there you go.
So I realized we both had our number one was an overlap, so that's fine. So you can run with that one.
Oh, I just realized that.
Yeah. And I want to, this game is so dang good. I want in on the action. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, absolutely. That's a good idea. So let's jump right in. And my first slice and Suzanne's first slice of a musical game pie is Lacrimosa. So I mean, I used to be a ballet dancer, so I'm all about the classical music. And I love the first description of this game. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart is dead. I mean, you've got a little bit of a mystery and music. I'm here for it. So this is one where I really like the fact that they try to immerse you a little bit in the theme. I mean, I like classical music, so I was going to make a story about it no matter what. But this is where we take on the roles of the patrons of the late musician, contributing to their fundings, of their works. And there are different ways to do that. I'm going to stop there because I know I'm going to start rambling. Suzanne, did you want to talk about? I mean, we had a really good time when we played this game. What do you have to add to Lacrimosa?
I would just say Lacrimosa is a bulkier, it's a weightier,
Right.
heavier Euro style game with a lot of different pieces. You're traveling around, you're it's got multi-use cards at the top and how you're building that out. There's a very clever way that you're doing the card play, above and below actions. You can build up your deck, you're laying claim to, there's so much going on. And it's a freaking delight. There's a ton of variability too in some of the musicians that you can seed and things like that. I think this likely has slipped into my top 100 of all time, Mandi. That's how much I like Lacrimosa.
Really?
Yeah, I really like it. So
Wow. I mean, it's super good.
it's got so much in it that I love. Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, okay. Well, there you go. So Lacrimosa, if you haven't tried it and you like a slightly crunchier game, give it a whirl.
Absolutely. First up for me, and I have to put on my list because I love it so much, but I feel bad because it's dead. And that's Drop Mix.
Okay.
Drop Mix.
I forgot about this one.
I love Drop Mix. For those of you who aren't familiar, Drop Mix was this unit. And yes, I'm calling this a board game for what it's worth. So it was a board, an electronic board, and it had cards. And 4 musical slots that you would drop cards on, and the codes in the card, the board would read the cards and it would play the snippet of the song accordingly, whether it was the percussion or the melody or whatever. And it had an app, and you could face challenges from the app by mixing up the cards and playing things that met certain criteria. Or you could just freestyle it, and you felt like a freaking DJ throwing down cards into other things. You could layer cards. It could read multiple cards in a single slot. It is a genius device. It was a great idea. It was executed well. It was so much fun. And then they killed the line and they stopped supporting it. And basically, if you didn't download it, like if you managed to download everything and you still have the cards and your device still works, you can still play it. But you had to have downloaded it all. You have to have those files on your machine. If you don't, you cannot re-grab them.
I didn't, because it was hard to find for the longest time.
It was, because it was a hit. Drop Mix is a heartbreaker. It's so much fun.
Dang.
It breaks my heart it's dead, but hey, for favorite musical games, I had to put it on my list. So that's Drop Mix.
Yeah, I remember I was trying to get my hands on it and it was always sold out. And I was like, hey, you know what? I'm over it. And now it's dead. So, well, I'll just have to play it next to my visit. The next game on my list is, well, a bit of a surprise because it's a newer game, but it's been getting a lot of play at my house, and that is Hitster. I don't know if
we just talked about this a few weeks ago.
Yeah, but it's just been getting played, and I think it's just I have a lot of friends who just love music. So any game that's gonna, hey, figure out what this song is, and place it in like a timeline. And I think that's the part that gets people. Not only that they want to try and guess the artist and the song. You don't have to, but that's extra points if you do. But gets the artist and the song and where it goes in the timeline. I think that's the game part that people really like, because they're just like, I'm pretty sure it's this. And they find like, no, I thought it was so much later. Or, oh, there's a different version of this song. It's just the discussions that come out after it. So I know it's a party game, but I don't know. We just have a really good time listening to some tunes. And hey, I think it's this date and this artist and whatever. And it's just surprising how much we know about some things and how little we know. So it's a learning opportunity. So Hitster, and I think they have like 6 different boxes. I think I have Guilty Pleasures. So it's just the type of music that gets played. Don't worry, Guilty Pleasure is not inappropriate. It's just I gotta say that.
I thought it was, man.
Well, some of these games after dark or whatever, it's not like that. It's just it just might be more pop or whatever, or international music or whatever the case may be. So Hitster, very fun, and it plays in a really quick amount of time. So I really like that one.
It's cool that you're still enjoying it so much. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Next slice up for me, I've talked about it before, so I'll make it quick. On Tour, it is a great roll and write game that uses D12s? D10s, D12s, no, D10s.
D10,
it uses D10s in a really clever way. Not because a lot of roll and writes just use D6s. It uses D10s as you are coming up with number combos so that you can build your musical, your tour bus route across the nation. There are multiple versions of this out now on tour.
On tour. Yeah, that's a strong one. And I think the dice I have for that are pretty chonky. I could be wrong.
Yeah, they are. They're
Okay.
chonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. Well, my last slice of pie. I think Suzanne will have another one, or no? Oh no, we covered the same one together at the top. My last slice of pie is Symphony Number 9. Now, I feel like I haven't played this one in a while, but I really enjoy it. I just, you have so many games, and in this one, I like it because it's a, 18th century is where it takes place, and you're trying to a lot of patrons to the music. It's the same kind of theme as
Yeah.
Lacrimosa, and you're trying to, from what I remember, I think it's like I remember cubes being this game. You're taking, is it donation cubes from different musicians, and then you're like, it has to do with, it's been a while since I played this. I'm a little rusty with the rules here. They're
Oh,
taken from a
yeah.
career track, and then they reveal spaces that change the reputation of each musician. So
Mhm,
you're kind of
mhm.
playing with the tracks a little bit. I just remember playing it the first time, and I was like, I like the theme, I like the game. Wish I could play it more because of all the stacks of games that I have, but this is one that's always like right off the bat. I thoroughly enjoyed. I know you like this one too as well, Suzanne, but Symphony Number 9 for me. Now that we're talking about it, I may have to pull this out again at next
Yeah,
night.
actually, it's inspiring, right? Because it's got that
Right?
betting and the bluffing and
Which normally I don't like,
yeah,
but I like it
almost
in
some
this
area
game.
majority with the different are they musicians or composers in the different? Yeah,
Right.
it's
I thought it
great
was
game.
musicians, but
It
yeah,
might be
yeah,
music.
yeah.
I can't remember, to be honest,
I
but
know,
yeah, great
but yeah.
choice, great game.
Yay, Symphony Number 9, everybody.
All right, and the last slice of musical game pie for me. Take the A chord. Oh,
I
take
don't
the
think
A
I know this
chord.
game.
Pardon?
I don't think I know this game. Do
Well,
I?
it is a Sashi game. So it's from Sashi and Sashi,
I do
who
know
I
it.
am number one fangirl of. Sashi and Sashi, favorite publisher, Sashi, one of my all-time favorite game designers. Can't design a bad game. I like some more than others, but
Sure.
everyone is at least good. That's a
Yeah.
pretty great track record right there. And Take the A chord is one that is better than good. It's
Right.
all about creating I don't know, creating a song, composing something. But what it actually is, it's a clever trick taking game with some different
Great.
rules on how you follow and how you power play. And it's a fabulous game. It's got that adorable art from Sashi's partner that is always so beautiful. I love this game. Thankfully, it was out of print for a while. Thankfully, they brought it back, so it's a little easier to find now. Take the A chord, great trick taking game thematically around music.
I think I don't. I know the game now that you've described and said who has designed it, but I don't own it. So maybe one I need to own.
It was hard to get for a while.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. That was our musical game pie. Woo! Not a ton of musically themed games out there, but
No.
some good ones at least.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, we'll call that an episode,
Yeah.
everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Please send us your ideas for game pie. Save us from ourselves. That would be a huge help. Or, tell us any musical games that we missed. If you were at PAX, tell me what your experiences were like at PAX. I would love to hear from you. You can always email us at saltandsassgames@gmail.com or leave a comment on our Board Game Geek Guild thread, Guild 4131 on boardgamegeek.com, or chat us up on the socials, Mandi.
Yes, you could be watching us right now, right here on the YouTube, possibly checking out our streams on the Twitch at Salt and Sass Games. You can also find us on Blue Sky. We're a little professional there. We just go by Salt and Sass. You can find me on Blue Sky and Instagram at 613Mandi. That's Mandi with an I. How about you, Suzanne?
And you can find me on Blue Sky. I am at 425 Suzanne. As always, it is a pleasure and privilege to be podcasting with you. And thank you so much for being part of our extended gaming family and for making us part of yours. I did get to see some of you at PAX. It's always a thrill. Thank you so much for saying hi and chatting about games. It's just so validating, and I love that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with lots more game talk. I mean, Mandi, today was a little bit of a weird day, but I've got so many games to talk about. I'm so excited.
Me too. I got like a list. I gotta, just give him a little bit.
Well, so stick around for episode 78 in a couple weeks. Until then, take care of yourselves, stay hydrated, and play a lot of games. We'll see you next time.
Bye. promotional consideration has been provided by game publishers in the form of review copies of games. If you'd like to support the podcast, please check us out on coffee.com/saltandsassgames. Thank you for your support. We are also part of the Goonhammer Media Network. Check out more of their content on media.goonhammer.com. Salt and Sass is produced with love by Mandi and Suzanne, and we'll be back next episode with more salt, more sass, and more games.